Okay, Curtis Bonk recently published a book. In fact, this book was published last month, and he was kind enough to give Apta and myself autographed copies. Apta, if you can just hold the book up. The book. Oh, it's rotating. See, we shared. Okay, this book was out last month, and this is just one statement that I took from the preface. It says, after a decade of mad human scrambling to attempt to understand e-learning and blended learning, we now are confronted with mobile or M-learning and ubiquitous or U-learning. So this is the direction that we will be seeing soon. And why not? Because you have things like iTunes, yeah? But iTunes University, Stanford, Texas A&M, Arizona Department of Education, Carnegie Mellon, University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, Open University UK, MIT OpenCourseWare, and these are just a few. I didn't take down everything, but they have materials available as part of the iTunes University. And this is another website called academicearth.org, where top universities in the US upload their lectures, and we can download them anytime for free. It's available. It doesn't matter what subject, astronomy, biology, chemistry, computer science, economics, engineering, English, entrepreneurship, history, law, and whatever else. Okay? You can see the list of the universities on the left: Berkeley, Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Stanford, and Yale. Now, why are these people putting things on the net? Shouldn't they want students to come to them, you know, and pay high fees, yeah? But actually the lectures are available online. And some examples: general human anatomy, physics, literature, philosophy, economics, political science. Just to give you an example of what it sounds like when you download one of the lectures, I have an example here. This is on psychology. It is a 1-hour lecture. I took 1 hour to download it. Right now the broadband is not very broadband, but if you want, I think it'll be faster if you have faster connection.
Are human universals, what everybody shares. So we've been talking about language, about rationality, about perception, about the emotions, about universals of development, and we've been talking about what people share. But honestly, what a lot of us are very interested in is why we're different, and the nature of these differences and the explanation for them. And that's what we'll turn to today. So first we'll discuss how are people different, different theories about what makes you different in a psychological way from the person sitting next to you, and then we'll review different theories about why people are different.
Okay, we notice it's 1 hour and 4 minutes. Okay, this is an example of the quality. Imagine downloading it into your phone and listening to it when you're on the move or while you're waiting. Okay, again, this is Academic Earth. What happens is you can also, they also listed in terms of the top-rated courses and the top-rated lectures. Okay. There are different kinds of universities being established today. We thought distance learning and open distance learning universities are the in thing, but actually there's something else happening. There's peer-to-peer university that has started operation, or will start operation September 9. No, this was last year, September 09 last year. They got a seed grant of 70,000 US from the Hewlett Foundation to launch its first 10 pilot courses. What they're trying to do is, okay, make available the courses and eventually have the courses contribute towards a degree. Yeah, but that's in the pipeline. And another university that has, I think that was sometime this year, I think, started, and I think they're now taking second batch of students, It's called the University of the People. They're offering currently computer and business programs, and this is free. The only time you pay is for examination, and I think for entrance. But otherwise, it's all completely free. But there's a limited enrollment available. So that's also happening, and that eventually the plan is to accredit their degrees. Of course, apart from the from the formal learning, we also have what you call this professional-based learning. So, for example, CIMA is also offering. I mean, you can get mobile learning materials for CIMA, and I think I saw GRE, Graduate Record Examination, for those who are familiar with the US system. That's also available through mobile. Now, the more important thing is how we view learning. Currently, we view learning as something that is pushed to the learners. Okay, the learners come to the class, we push content to them. We create learning objects, we're pushing the content to them. We create materials, modules, print modules, we're pushing content to them. What we want eventually, and I think our first keynote speaker mentioned this, that the learners should be given more opportunities to manage their own learning. But that can only happen if the assessment is changed. Because otherwise it's content-driven, and they will only want content-related materials. But what if we put their learning in their hands and they pull whatever they want in terms of information, in terms of interaction, and so on. And let me try and illustrate this in the next few slides. Okay, basically putting learning into the hands of the learners. But as I mentioned earlier, we have to change the way we assess learning. And it could be audio materials, it could be video materials, it could be them accessing the social websites and interacting with it from their mobile phones, interacting with their lecturers, with their fellow classmates, building content in wikis, for example, or blogs. That is possible, and very, very easy to do later on, I think. Yeah. Right now the handphones are kind of small, but you can already do that. You can even download YouTube videos and into your handphone. For example, I have an iPhone. I could go into YouTube, download the video, and view it on the phone. But I haven't done that. Okay. Facebook, everyone seems to be on Facebook. In fact, was it 2 weeks ago? Last week, we had Professor In Sung Jung at Open University Malaysia, and I didn't know she was in Malaysia until I saw her Facebook entry. Then I discovered, oh, she's in Penang. So then I immediately connected to her and brought her over to Open University Malaysia to give us a tea talk, and that's how we benefited. And Twitter is another good example. I first started using Twitter because I found that the key experts in my area were online, and I wanted to know what they were doing, what conferences they were attending, and usually they put up, they upload their presentations online, and sometimes they give us a link, and that's how it's lifelong learning. Yeah. Okay, if I were to summarize in terms of how mobile learning could work for us, it works best when we need to push content to learners. This is a combination of the push-pull model just now. Yeah? When we need to push content to the learners, when we want learners to pull content, and I think this is where we are having a few challenging moments. I'll share with you more about that later. When we need to manage the learning process, and this is where we found that at OUM the learners like this. And when we want to support interactive learning, again, this is where the forums, the blogs, the Twitter, come into place. Okay, if we were to have a model, push-pull model of blended learning, now at OUM we have face-to-face learning, and we have online learning, and we have print-based learning or self-managed learning. What we can see happening is if we consider the use of the new tools and consider mobile devices, this will happen a lot. There are some things where we can push. For example, face-to-face, we're pushing lectures or tutorials to students. And with print, again, we're pushing, shoving into their face the content, the modules, the textbooks. But at the same time, we want students to eventually pull materials to them. So it could be things online. They pull whenever they want to, whenever they're ready, they pull. But the advantage of mobile learning is it's on the go. They can view it anytime they wish.